Ladies and gentlemen, this is a continuing occurrence here at Bank Square. Matt is an author. He's writing a screenplay for a sci-fi classic called, it's part of the works called The Factory. This is Trans. We're up to chapter 12. You can go to my YouTube channel, Mr. Tom 52, and catch all the previous chapters. I think I'm going to make a folder so that it will all be, so you can just, like, I don't know if I can do that, but anyway, Matt Fusari, now for something totally different.
Okay, well, thanks, Tom, for all that. Believe me. Anyway, so this is part of an overall work I call The Factory. It's some science fiction, and this is part of an episodic screenplay I'm doing called Trans. So anyway, I would like for all of you to once again return with me to a world sometime in the near future, to the early 22nd century. And it's a world where the next major industry in the United States is the manufacture of biological replacement parts. Where the impossible is now tomorrow's reality, and it's a world where man has advanced to such a level that it's literally possible to recreate the human body into a form a person desires. We continue now the story of Frankie and Fran Jensen, who were, until very recently in their worlds, one transgender person attempting to be transformed biologically and genetically and physically into a female. Due to a stroke, the transformation procedure was aborted while it was underway. Frankie's brain remains in his original body. Now awake from his medically induced coma, his brain tissue fully regenerated, Frankie now deals with the reality that he is still biologically male and cannot undergo the transformation procedure because it could kill him. As for Fran, originally the body that Frankie's brain was supposed to be transplanted to, Fran is a healthy, outwardly at least, a healthy, beautiful 30-year-old woman with all of Frankie's memories and emotions, downloaded from a copy of Frankie's mind that was made before the transformation procedure. But she faces an uncertain future now that she knows the truth, that she is only 6 weeks old with memories that are not her own. This is now more complicated because of the looming threat presented by Frankie's father, who did not approve of the transformation procedure and is outraged that a new person has been created out of his son. And with that, I bring you Trans Episode 12. We fade into the exterior of a golf course, late afternoon in May. And we cut to an exterior of the clubhouse at the same time. And then we cut to interior of the clubhouse, the bar. And we cut to Dr. Martin. Dr. Martin is an older man in his early 60s. He appears frustrated. He sits at a table. A drink is placed in front of him. Frank Jensen sits in the chair beside him with a beer partially consumed in front of him. Frank, I don't care how long we've known each other. You've had no right to barge in on me like this. Don't give me that, Jim. If it were your son, you'd do the same fucking thing. You always do this, Frank. You presume to know better than anyone else. Whatever. Are you going to help me or not? I don't know if I can. And even if I agreed with you on this, which I don't know. Why the hell not? My son was mutilated by this asshole. It's just hearsay, Frank. While I don't know Dr. Corbin personally, I have read his research. I have met him on several occasions. He's an excellent and very ethical doctor. And from what you have told me, Frankie went to the Transformation Institute of his own volition. Frankie was confused. No matter how much I pushed him to do more boy stuff when he was a kid, to be more of a man when he got older, no matter how much I punished him for wearing girls' clothes, he always gravitated towards girl stuff. You call that of his own volition, Jim? It's a complicated issue, Frank. We still don't completely understand the issue of gender dysphoria, but they are still human beings. No better, no worse than any of us, quote unquote, normal people. And you know, I think you're clinging to some outdated ideas about what quote unquote boy and girl stuff is. Times have changed, Frank. You're not doing Frankie or this young woman who was created from him any favors. You're going to make things worse. So you're saying that I should accept this, that I should consider this thing created out of my son, my daughter. Maybe. It's hard to say. I have to admit, the scientific aspects of this do fascinate me. Dr. Corbin has literally recorded a new human mind out of a blank slate. Oh yeah, it's just so cool to you, isn't it? I say again, if it were your kid. I do know one thing. Without any kind of medical evidence, you are not going to have a leg to stand on. The law is pretty clear regarding gender transformation, Frank. Unless you could prove serious mental illness, which I doubt, because the Institute has a rigorous screening process, you are going to lose. And based upon Karen's actions through this, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Frank takes a huge gulp with his drink. He doesn't stop until it's finished. He puts the glass back on the table and gets up from his seat. Everybody's fucking sorry. But when it comes to actually correcting the problem, no one wants to do anything about it except whine. Look, if you really want to help your son, Frank, help him heal. You don't have to like his choices. God knows I don't like some of the choices my kids made. But they're still my kids. And I'd give my right arm for them. And they're adults. They have a right to determine their own lives. So does Frankie, as we once did way back when. Not on my fucking time. Frank, you're handling this all wrong. Frank Jensen storms out of the bar. He does not respond. Dr. Martin shakes his head. And we cut to black. End of episode 12. More coming soon.
So was I right? Was that something completely different? So next